Lebo and Neo are the co-founders of Nong Wealth, and they are property investors that are passionate about education and networking. The two brothers are obsessed, and I love to make emphasis on the fact that they are obsessed, because they truly are obsessed with property investing, and they believe in creating powerful networks, sharing meaningful content, and growing as a community. So without wasting any more time, please help me welcome the Nong brothers onto the stage.
So what I have is that I have three credit cards. I have one with the blue bank, I have one with the red bank, and I have the one with the green bank, right? So looking at these three accounts, if, say, for instance, I don't want to give away too much of credit, right? If, say, for instance, I have 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 on each, right? That means that on a monthly basis, I want us to look at it from this perspective. If you only have one credit card, how many payments can you do in a year? 12, right? Because it's one each month. I know a lot of people are saying that, no, if you're paying, let's say in a month you pay 4 times, it's going to be different. It's not different. It's still going to be counting it as 1 month, because they're going to calculate for January how much did you actually pay. Now, if you have somebody that has 3 credit cards, how many times do you have to do payments? So it's 12 multiplied by 3, 46, ne? 36. 36. Now, looking at someone that is paying 12 times and looking at the person that's paying 36 times, which one has the better competitive edge? So if, say, for instance, I am missing out on a payment, can you please, the guys that have a calculator, can you please just do 1 divided by 36? No, 1 divided by, let's say, not 36, 1 divided by 12.
0.08.
Multiplied by 100?
This would be 8.3.
8.3, right? So 8.3. So if I'm saying that I skipped 1 month, I'm skipping 8.3, right? Now, let's look at if I'm skipping 1 payment on my 3 credit cards. And I'm saying that 1 divided by 36%. No, 1 divided by 36. It's 3. No, 1. So, yeah, 1. 0.027 multiplied by 100?
So this would be the 2.7.
2.7. So if I skip 1 of my 3 credit cards, that ultimately means that I only missed out on 2% of my payments. Now, the guy that missed out on once on the 1 credit card, they are at 8%. So on my credit score, it actually grew faster when I had 3 credit cards and making 3 different payments on the different banks. So this is totally up to you. It's more risky, because now, if I remember, there was a time whereby I was going through some stuff and then I couldn't be able to pay. Now, Neo only has 1 credit card. Neo only got called by 1 person. I was getting calls from 3 different people. So it becomes a bit risky from that perspective. However, on my side, it actually did increase my credit score a bit faster than what it did on Neo's side. Yeah. If you can't pay for your jeans, then you're not going to be paying for your rent. Now, people aren't seeing it from a bigger perspective, right? So we're working with placement of tenants. And people don't understand that those jeans that you took, and you're not paying them on a monthly basis, it affects your credit score. So if you apply and say that, okay, I'm applying to live in this property, you're going to get rejected. Why? Because your credit score is bad. Now, I had a lady that was saying that, no, but that's from 5 years back. I was young. I used that money for some vacation and I paid it off. Remember, if you paid it off, we are still going to be looking at the past 12 months. How was your credit in that past 12 months? Now, you were not paying consistently. If you are not paying consistently, which ultimately means that for rental, you're going to be rejected. What more when you're going to be buying a property? Then that's a totally different ball game. So now these are the things that we used to actually improve our credit score.
So in conclusion, right, I need you guys to please write these down. Every time before you buy a property, ask yourself, will you be benefiting this way? So this is how looking at the blueprint, right? This is what informs us. Number one, we're looking for equity. Number two, we're looking for cash flow. And then number three, appreciation is a bonus. So I'm going to explain those 3 points. Right? Number one, we said it's the equity. Number two, cash flow. And then number three, it's appreciation. So if the property doesn't have cash flow, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into it. If I don't have equity, I'm not buying into it. Appreciation is more of a bonus. So let me explain then what do I mean by these 3 points, right? Is that the more cash flow properties that I'm buying, with that example at 2.5, what's happening is that 2.5, we said 2.5 times 5, right? And then I did mention that it's increasing our disposable income, because let's just say that we're still keeping our expenses at the same point. So that means that I can afford more because of what? My cash flow, right? And then number two, with the equity one, is that if the properties that we are buying, even the one that I'm going to live in personal, is that we buy distressed because of something called equity. Now with equity, I'm saying that the true value of that property is, let's say, 900,000. We buying it at 700,000. Now the difference there is equity. Now where we use equity, it can be used either 2 ways. It's either I'm going to resell, which is flip, or I can refinance. So that is why I always also buy with equity. Now with appreciation, I need you to look at it this way, guys. So we've been in a deal whereby we were benefiting from both. Appreciation, no, we are benefiting from both, which is cash flow and equity. So by the time we sold, we were making money on a monthly basis after all our expenses, even by virtue of us selling it at market value again, because we did fix, we got profit. So again, now I wasn't in a situation whereby I'm waiting for appreciation. Now, unfortunately, a whole lot of buyers, because we can't determine what is the true value of that property. That's number one. If I can't determine the true value of the property, it's really difficult because you don't know if you're being oversold. Now, you bought a property that was at market value, you are not making money, so you in that position whereby, but if I let go of this property right now, I'm going to make a loss. So what that does is that it kind of forces you to hold on to that property, even though you are making a cash flow negative on a month to month. So hence I'm saying every time before you buy, you're looking at these 3, that if I'm benefiting cash flow and I'm benefiting via equity, when it comes to selling, I'll sell, because appreciation is a bonus. That's how we look at appreciation. So even if after 5 years, it didn't appreciate, it was still at that same level, I was benefiting through cash flow. I benefited through equity. But now, unfortunately, with some first-time buyers, is that I don't know these. So it's easy for me to buy at market value, and now I'm forced to hold on to it. So those are the 3 factors that tell us that this is a good buy.
So looking at my credit score, right? Because the credit score at the end of the day is the one that speaks for you, right? So if I'm able to go back to the bank and say that I've been banking with you and I've been on time and my credit score has actually increased, most of the time I give it around 1 or 2 years, I'm able to go back and negotiate in terms of the credit card actually going down, right? Because for some reason, if I tell them that, hey guys, the other bank is offering me a better, they always tend to actually decrease my credit score. Not my credit score, my interest rate. So it has actually increased my credit score, and then if I'm going to decrease, it does actually assist. But now looking at that, right, I think this is something that's very important that I have to say. You don't go after 2 months and say that, no, I've been paying you for the past 2 months on time. You have to actually increase it. So it's a time game. So if you're giving them 2 years, paying them consistently, then you're able to go back and negotiate. So based on the first time when I got my credit, looking at the interest, and now looking also at the interest rates, the difference between the interest rate and what I'm actually paying is actually went a bit more towards the interest rate. Because when you start, it goes, you start at the high end, but now it has actually come closer towards what the interest rate is right now. The thing about that is that property investors and estate agents, we have a love-hate relationship, right? Where some agents will not present an offer to the owner. And now if I know that that property is not worth what they are selling it for, I'd rather take away.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that we're always saying is that if there's one of anything, you always get emotional with it. So if there's only one deal that you're looking at, you're going to become emotional with that particular deal and you want to make it work somewhere, somehow. It needs to work. And then only to find out that when you buy it, it didn't actually work. Yeah. So I would rather say that if I know that the property is worth 200,000 and then the agent listed it at 300,000, I wouldn't, because what I do, or the conversation between myself and the estate agent would then be that, okay, I see that you listed the property for 300,000. I bought this report and it says that the property is actually worth 200,000. So as an investor, it wouldn't make business sense for me. Now, if they say that I'm not willing to actually present it, it's hard for you to get to the owner as the investor. So what I'd rather do is that I'd rather back away, because I'd rather not be in a deal than forced to be in a deal only to find out that it doesn't actually work.
Yeah. Do you know what's another thing that might go wrong, bro? Is that by the time you want to sell, let's just say that you want to sell after a year or two. Now, don't forget, you're also going to factor in how much you're owing. And also, you have to pay the estate agent. So you find that you want to now sell at 350 or 400. And then the bank comes through. Remember, when you're selling, the bank will come and they'll do that valuation. Then they find out that you overpriced. They can't assist you with that price. So ultimately, now you're also in that situation whereby you're forced to hold on to that property for some time. So as much as it's hard, what Leo was saying, he's told me a lot of time whereby I was emotionally attached to that deal. He's like, let's walk. That's business. You walk, you leave money on the table sometimes, especially if it doesn't make sense. Ask yourself those 3 questions. And if you can see that only one or not all, then the question is, why are you still buying into it? So that's where that emotion comes in, that you might have been emotionally involved with that property. And there's nothing wrong. It's just that thing whereby you learn as you go forward that sometimes you have to walk.